They have taken millions of human lives so far. It all started with the fleas that lived on mice jumping on humans in order to continue their lives. The Spanish flu took the lives of 50 to 100 million people after the First World War. The 1980s were the times when HL&Is took the most lives. It took the lives of millions of people by reaching them through sexuality and blood. COVID, on the other hand, did what perhaps no one could have predicted in 2019. The whole world was now under quarantine. More than 7 million people lost their lives. The world was divided in two. According to some, this virus was specifically released into the world by those who control the states. Either the virus would take their lives or the vaccines they received to protect themselves from the virus. Maybe you remember the vaccine before. You had to sign a form, and at the bottom of the form it said there wasn't enough information about the vaccine and that its long-term effects weren't fully known. A study was being conducted on the side effects of the COVID vaccine in which 100 million people from exactly 8 countries participated, especially mRNA-based. In other words, it was revealed that those who got the brands you see on the screen had inflammation in their heart muscle and heart membranes. While Dr. Norman was making this announcement, he was saying that there was nothing to be afraid of and that the cases were rare, but he didn't leave a wondering mind. According to some, these were all conspiracy theories. No rehearsal was done to reduce the world population or prepare for the next epidemics. Some things didn't go well. It didn't end and humanity fought the COVID virus. Welcome to the video where we will talk about the possible viruses that await humanity and are happening today. Before you watch this video in its entirety, there are some things you need to know. First of all, you will get a lot of information in the video. However, as you may have noticed, you will also hear some serious conspiracy theories that I believe will surprise you just like me when you hear them. I know you have been wanting this video for a long time, and believe me, it was not easy to put it together. Please don't forget to like it for support and subscribe if you enjoy it. Just a few years ago, we were stuck at home, washing the products we bought from the markets in our homes out of fear. Now we are faced with the monkey bottle virus. Actually, monkey bottle, that is, monkeypox. Unlike one, monkey bottle does not actually come from monkeys. It is called monkeypox because it was tested on monkeys for research purposes. The scary part is that monkeypox has very similar symptoms to the swollen worm virus, one of the deadliest viruses in human history. Despite the fact that this disease has taken the lives of almost 500 million people, it is the first virus that we have been counted as human beings in the world thanks to vaccines. How? This man observes that people who have had cowpox do not get smallpox disease. Thanks to this, Edward Jenner took a step towards finding the first vaccine for smallpox disease. Although Edward is an incredibly important person who seriously sheds light on the formation of the future, countries have stopped making vaccines for viruses that fall into the poxviridae family, or the smallpox virus class, since we have completely wiped out the virus from the face of the earth. Why? You know why. In fact, let's get into the medicine and war sector briefly. Medicine during the COVID virus. It made $90 billion in profits for companies. America alone spent $820 billion on warriors every year. The September 11, 2011 incident plays a very important role in protecting us from current viruses. But before we get to that part, it's important to know this. $8 trillion have been spent in America's war with Al-Qaeda. How much is this money? You could have had Messi playing on your team for 32,000 years. The importance of September 11th was that after this attack, the World Health Organization came out with a bioterrorism threat. It has started to stock up on smallpox viruses again, albeit in small amounts. Just like early COVID, the monkeypox virus is currently being given little consideration by the public. In fact, the years 2023 were when the virus was at its most widespread. More than 100,000 people were infected with this virus. Unlike COVID, you don't need an animal to transmit the virus. This virus can be transmitted from person to person simply by touching. You can also catch the virus through coughing, saliva, sexual contact, or by touching something an infected person has touched. Good news. Unless the number of cases is seriously high, there is actually not much to fear. The bad news is that Istanbul Airport is one of the main transit airports for Africa, the countries where the virus is most prevalent. So just like with COVID, everything can spread in the blink of an eye. This is the first time I lost a patient. Sand, bread, whatever I can get, we will stay now. There are 100 broken ones. We will die. They threw the lift outside into the ambulance. Prepares the Cologne queue. Although the chance of the disease taking your life is very low, do not forget these two important pieces of information. If it somehow gets into your eye, or if you catch the disease while pregnant, your baby may unfortunately lose his life. Unfortunately, there is no treatment for this virus yet. It is a process that you expect to get through by taking care of yourself as best you can. If you've come this far, get ready now. Believe it or not, the ball is in your court there. Biden and dozens of other leaders have said in their press statements years ago that we will be facing another pandemic, and things are getting a little more interesting. Barack Obama mentioned in a press conference in 2014 that a serious virus awaited humanity in the coming years and that we would be locked in our homes. Let's dig a little deeper. The part that probably affected me the most is now. Kennedy's son Robert F. Barack Obama has a serious speech about knowing about COVID from the beginning. According to Robert, Anthony Fauci, who was the chief medical advisor of the United States at the time, is 68% more likely to receive something from the Pentagon for his virus studies. Anthony was also given billions of dollars in government support. The purpose of the research was viruses. Robert adds the following: 3 insects with serious viruses that could determine the fate of humanity escaped from the laboratory. Hundreds of scientists were sending emails to Obama, the president of the time, to explain the situation. Each email read as follows: Anthony will start the pandemic, stop him. At the end of the day, Obama closes the laboratory. However, according to Robert's claim, it was Anthony who started the pandemic. The reason is, despite the secret being closed, Anthony goes to Wuhan, China, the country where the COVID virus originated, with all the important information and materials in his possession. Guess in which city and country the first COVID virus appeared? In Wuhan, China. Robert's statement was actually a reference to Obama's speech in 2014, saying that a big virus awaits us. And as luck would have it, on August 26th, Mark Zuckerberg made a huge announcement about COVID. Mandatory on Facebook and Instagram platforms by the Biden presidency. He explains that they were censoring anything that would scare people or create panic about COVID vaccines or COVID. For example, whenever someone posted about COVID first emerging in Wuhan, China, our systems automatically deleted such news due to government pressure. Mark adds, "Give in to the pressures that will follow. We will not bow." He says we now know better how to fight the authorities. Of course, we should not forget that all of these are conspiracy theories. At the end of the day, the world we live in, it consists only of black and white. In fact, just because of these theories, all these pandemics and viruses are actually just tests. They measure how human beings react so that they can bring more gigantic things in a more controlled manner in the future. If you've made it this far, you've enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed and learned, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What else would you like to see or what you think about the video? Write your thoughts in the comments section. Take care of yourself in the next videos.